Behind me, you can see the African American cemetery here at the Boone Homestead, and it is perhaps the most stark reminder of the institution of slavery that took place here. There are only two known burials in this cemetery, and those are the graves of Moses Boone and Preston Boone. And we believe Moses and Preston made it through the Civil War to see freedom because they took on the Boone last name. One of the unique things about this cemetery is the organization. There's a row of adults and there's a row of children. The stone pile that you see is most likely a winter burial. The ground is frozen in the winter, so you dig down as deep as you can, you place the body, and the stones placed on top of the body protect it from scavenging animals. And more than 183 years later, you can still see the remains of several unmarked graves. One of the things we know least about here on the homestead is what slave life was like. By 1850, the homestead had grown to encompass nearly 1,200 acres. The census of that same year showed Nathan owning 15 slaves. We believe the slave quarters were located in the woods behind me. Unfortunately, archaeological research has been unable to locate it. That work will continue. One of the stories we do know about the homestead comes from the Civil War period. We believe at least 4 families were squatting in the Boone house. Reuben Boone, one of Nathan's former slaves, was still in the area and wanted to be able to settle on the Boone homestead legally. So he approached the Union Army for occupation of the homestead. He said, "The neighbors and the locals are trying to run me off." The Union Army had one large problem in this area, is that they lacked a good supply of food. So they actually struck a deal with Reuben, and Reuben agreed to provide 1/3 of the homestead's crops to the Union Army for every year that he was here on the homestead. Reuben would go on to run the homestead for several years, and we credit Reuben for getting the Boone homestead in one piece back to the Boone family after the Civil War.